Welcome, summer. Oh, let me choose the commentary. Hold on a second. Alrighty. There it is. Modifiers and commentary. I will enable the commentary this time. Because, like, you know, commentary. This game takes place in 1995, and it's a love story. It's a complicated love story, and I think you would actually appreciate the art that went into this game. But you know, I won't be playing it for too much longer because I do need to try to sleep. Because you know, ear infections don't heal unless you rest. But now I'll leave you to watch the story.
Hi, Mom. So I got my ticket home from Europe. I get back on June 6th, but it's a really late flight because that was the cheapest, so it gets in at midnight. But don't worry, I'll get a shuttle from the airport so you don't have to pick me up. Like, really, seriously, you don't have to. Okay, so, love you. See you soon. Bye.
Commentary note.
Hi, I'm Steve Gaynor. I'm the co-founder of the Fulbright Company. We made Gone Home. I was the writer and designer, and thank you for taking a look at our commentary mode. Whenever you find an icon like the one you just clicked on, you can find out a little bit more about the game. I want to thank everybody who's added commentary, Janman and Carla, my co-founders of the company, Kate Craig, our 3D artist, Chris Remo, our composer, Sarah Grayson, the voice of Sam Greenbrier, and Corin Tucker, the lead singer of Heavens to Betsy and Slater Kinney and other awesome bands. So thank you, everybody, and enjoy commentary.
So that was our first commentary. But here we are. Kate, I'm sorry I can't be there to see you, but it's impossible. Please, please don't go digging around trying to find out where I am. I don't want Mom and Dad / anyone to know where I am. We'll see each other again someday. Don't be worried. I love you. Sam. Well, first off, the doors are locked. And there's more commentary right here. Let's go ahead and get the commentary bubble.
So, Christmas Duck. Christmas Duck is a fan favorite. He's kind of a mascot, I guess, and I think that's partly because it's a weird concept, a Christmas duck, and partly because it's like the first unique thing that you encounter in the game. It's kind of personified as a little character, but the thing is, Christmas Duck was not planned. When we were starting the project, we didn't have a 3D modeler because Kate came on a couple months after we started, and we needed a bunch of 3D models. And so I was just going through the Unity asset store. So when I was going through the list and saw this Christmas duck, and I was like, "What is that?" Okay, and I grabbed it, and we used it as like a test object just to set up the system where you can grab stuff and carry it around. And then I ended up saying, "All right, we got this Christmas duck, I'll hide the key under it." And instead of replacing the free model with a totally different thing, just made a real version of it, and Carla modeled it, and Kate textured it, and we kept him in the game, and we're glad, because he's everybody's little friend. Good old Christmas duck.
Good old Christmas duck.
Hello, my name is Kate Craig, and I was creating a lot of the environment assets for the game. Not all of them, some of them I had help with. which I'll touch on a little later, but most of the stuff like the walls and the floors, some of the larger pieces of furniture were my doing, and I'm going to be talking about some of the environmental storytelling aspects in Gone Home. I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't mention the work that my wife Emily Carroll did on the project. She did the house title image that we've used for our wallpapers and for the start screen of the game. She did the loading cassette tape, and she did the maps in the house. And actually, Carla made a font out of her handwriting because we wanted something that was just a little bit spooky, maybe a little ominous, but
wow, I have someone else watching me.
Tone of the game.
Holy shit.
And I was really glad to be working with her, and I was really glad that the other guys were too. We had a really good time.
Who else is watching
people
me?
responded quite positively
hello.
to her title screen, which is something that I really appreciate.
Unless it's two instances of you, Summer. That's just kind of weird. But yes, welcome to my impromptu. I got sick, so let's set up broadcast though. Very nice. But I didn't expect to see another person, but I'm gonna like turn on the lights. This kind of scares me. The house does. So it's really not all that scary, but yeah, it's one of those things. Oh. But apparently you now know how to get to this house, and it takes an hour and 10 minutes from where you were. Amazing. I now have 3 people watching us. Are you just disconnecting, reconnecting, Chico? What's going on? It's kind of weird to have an audience that I did not expect. But welcome. If it isn't just Summer. So welcome, and I'll float around. And yeah, I'm not sure either. I don't mind that they're here. They're not really bothering me, and I mean, it's definitely different.
Yeah, the biggest purpose of the card was, yeah, to say, oh, Sam is 17, you know, if you look for this thing. But there's so much, we need so much handwriting in the game, especially for like one-off characters that you don't see their handwriting more than once. And we knew we needed a birthday card from some member of Sam's more extended family that you were never going to hear from again. And so I was like, okay, it could be her uncle. And as an Easter egg, kind of like wink and nod
they all left.
thing, like, we're fans of, you know, the Looking Glass legacy of games and Deus Ex and Dishonored. And so I got in contact with Harvey Smith, who is the lead designer of Deus Ex and the co-creative lead of Dishonored, and asked if he would just write on a piece of paper, "Happy Birthday, Sam," from Uncle Harvey. And he just took a picture with his cell phone. And
like 5 minutes after you asked him. It was amazing. He was just like, yes, I will do this immediately.
Yeah.
It was the best.
I think, yeah, he took a picture with his cell phone, and it was really cool. Harvey's a great guy, and I love his games, and we're, you know, super honored to have his signature in the hub of the Greenbrier house.
Hell yeah.
Mommy's an arborist.
The Goodfellow High School jacket and the logo generally is a reference to the logo for Minerva's Den, the section of Rapture that DLC takes place in, that we worked on together. But we didn't want to make it look exactly like the owl logo from that game. We wanted it to be, you know, an homage or a reference or whatever.
Yeah, so we decided that since this is
Look at all the boxes.
Pacific Northwest school
Two TVs.
setting, that we would go for some
Of course, I was in
native,
the closet.
style representation.
Dear Katie,
Oh, yeah, I
so
forgot
much
about
has
this.
changed, even just since you've been away. We moved into this house. I'm at a new school, and my big sister being gone for a year doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't feel real, but I'm not gonna let it faze me. I used to tell you everything, and if I can't do it in person, because you're off gallivanting around who knows where, I'll tell it to this journal, just like I was talking to you.
But yeah, you get audio clips The game like gives you, like, you find pieces of you. Eventually, you're gonna find her diary, and they give you little pieces of the diary.
Oh man, mom handwriting. We went through a lot of different moms for handwriting. A lot of different moms contributed handwriting for our game. At first, let's see, how did we do? What were we doing first? I think I just did it, and it wasn't great. And then we had Emily do it, but her handwriting was used so heavily in other parts of the game that we had to find someone else. And I think we actually had Yaman try to do it for a while before he was Dad's handwriting. And then we got Yaman's mom, and she was ideal for it. Really good mom handwriting. Yeah.
So there's three messages on there. One of them you
Sam.
already know.
Sam. Hello? Sam! Sam, where are you? Really? I need to talk to you. Please be there.
Hi, Mom. So I got my ticket home from Europe. I get back on June 6th, but it's a really late flight because that was the cheapest, so it gets in at midnight. But don't worry, I'll get a shuttle from the airport so you don't have to pick me up. Like, really seriously, you don't have to. Okay, so, love you. See you soon. Bye.
There's the family. That's Sam right there. That's who's your sister who don't want you to find, and that's you. That'd be me right there. That'd be KT. And then Mom and Dad. Yes, ma'am. Talking to some, 1%ers here. Got this big house. All kinds of light switches. I can press triangle and I can see the map. That's amazing.
Hi, I'm Chris Remo, the composer on Gone Home. In my commentary tracks, I'm going to be talking a little bit about what went into creating the original music soundtrack for the game. Gone Home is an unusual game, musically speaking, in that it consists of two distinct music soundtracks. The one of those probably more frequently commented on is the collection of licensed Riot Girl songs that the player finds in Sam's cassette tapes strewn around the house. The other one is the original music that accompanies the player's undirected exploration of the house and underscores almost every one of Sam's audio diary recordings. When Steve first asked me to do music for Gone Home, I was really excited about it, but there are almost no parameters for what that meant in terms of format or scope. Having played an early build of the game, I started by just doing a few musical sketches with no real regard for length or usage, mainly consisting of vintage electric piano sounds like Wurlitzers and Fender Rhodes. I chose those instruments because I wanted sounds that would feel at home in the era of the game. The Twin Peaks soundtrack used a lot of Rhodes, for example, but would also blend into the background and not share much tone in common with the abrasive Riot Girl guitars. Some of the instrumentation and ideas changed from those first sketches, but they also contained one of the main themes that ended up accompanying Sam's arc throughout the final game.
The goddamn pit is blue. This is Oscar, Doc Masani. He died at the age of 60. It's the reason you have this house, because he died and left it to you. So, that's why you're here. Because he died for your sins. Alrighty. It's dark in here, it's scary. I'm scared. I don't like dark. I'm scared of the dark. You would be too if you knew it was in the dark. Alrighty. Close the door. The door. now I gotta make them all fall on the floor. You had to make a comment. Now they're all on the floor. I'll make this house really muddy. Ooh, a question mark. I took out a false bottom. I'm all like, suspicious. Sorry. This note's really hard to read. It was written in August on the 10th in 1972. Apparently, one of you was born out of wedlock. What's it making a mess? It's a hot, wet mess. Look, all kinds of wet markers all over the place. Apparently that explains the electrical problem that we have. But it's okay, these people are messy as hell. Here's a copy of this guy's book. No, that's not him. But he's all real bad at this stuff because he's write all these sticky notes trying to make his story really good, but ultimately his story is really bad. He's got an electric typewriter, which means he means business. Ready to type a bunch. I'm scared to be in the library alone. Someone's gonna hit me with a candlestick. Somebody had a candlestick beaten, and I don't want it. Ooh. Ooh. Let's grab that lid. Throw that right over there. Or these are your dad's shitty books. The Accidental Pariah. Apparently, your father wanted to be a time traveler and save JFK. Was it mustard? I'm sure it was. But you get to see your daddy's porn. Moscow by night. Drugs, prostitution, the mafia. The new rules of love. Japan's bloody war on dolphins. Tasty dolphins. Ladies in the rings. The world, the women of wrestling. Well, yeah, you're looking at your daddy's porn stash. Fresh. True stories. I was a teenage drag queen, May 1995. Uh-huh. Oh, there's a letter hidden underneath the newspaper. What's it say? Read note. The accidental. Oh, so your dad's just sitting there going like, I don't know how to write, so I'm going to do this all bad. So, alright, that didn't work out. Oh, look, a little floaty thing.
Inside of this file folder, we found the first combination code in the game. This code goes to Dad's locked filing cabinet, and it's 0451, which is a bit of a tradition / in-joke amongst. I mean, it's not really an in-joke. It's just an internal reference amongst this lineage of games that hark back to immersive sims that are kind of first-person exploration games that started with Ultima Underworld and System Shock, and 451 was the first key code in System Shock, and then it was also the first key code in System Shock 2 and Deus Ex and Bioshock and most recently Dishonored. And yeah, I've personally worked on a couple of games that had 0451 as the first code in them, and we were really adherent to the tenets of the interactive model and kind of the principles of design behind those games when we were designing how Gone Home works. And so to maintain that tradition, we also made it the first code in our game.
And you made it the tattoo on your arm.
I also got a tattoo of 0451 because it is sort of a symbol of this certain philosophy of game design that's important to me. And yeah, this writing, breaking canon, is in Emily's handwriting. Emily's handwriting is technically only in the font that exists outside the game. She doesn't actually do the handwriting of any of the characters, but yeah, I had her write 0451 in her very distinctive handwriting, and then I got a tattoo of it and figured I would use that source image as the image that you find on the inside of this folder.
Daddy drink because he can't write. Apparently you can't put it in the shelf. So that's why he put it all the way up there. But we'll put it in this shelf. You'll be in... Hide your alcoholism, Dad. Why you gotta be all like alcoholic-y? Can't shame the family, Dad. Seriously, why are you shaming us? Getting there. There you go. Now it's out of sight, out of mind. Someone could have seen it on that bookshelf. That would have been bad. I just...
One of our favorite movies is The Apartment, which was directed by Billy Wilder, and it starred Shirley MacLaine.
Oh wow, someone's
and
still here.
Jack Lemmon, and it's from like 1960.
See, I don't know, man. It's creepy. I don't know if anyone's paying attention. But hi, Delta.
Except actually from that time.
Yeah.
It's super good, and there's this weird, like, kind of humorous vocal tick that some of the executives in the movie have, where they will
finish signing close the original document.
Like, they'll say like, "We're doing quite well dividends wise," or something. And
that's how you know you found the house. It's like, we're gonna straddle you with this really expensive house.
And one of the executives at different times says something like, "So how are you getting along, Kubelik wise?" So anyway, super deeply buried Easter egg reference in joke. We made the law firm Kubelik and Wise that prepared Oscar's will, just as a little wink and nod, a little hardcore Fenton.
Quite Steve.
Alrighty, what are we doing here?
But yeah,
Alright, we're down by the room.
You should watch it.
Let them talk in their commentary.
It's totally worth your
mode.
time. It's a really good movie.
Oh,
On Laserdisc.
yeah. There's stuff here and there. Bunch of coupons. Why would anyone want like an entire rubber band of coupons? Alrighty. And it's all scary and dark in here. So scary. I'm gonna turn the light. Tiptoes through the windows.
Somehow I always knew that someday we'd be through. Now that it's happened, I just can't believe it's true. I've done the best I could to keep from feeling blue. Can't get you off my mind. What am I going?
Voodoo, mildew, and shandu.
Why, Daddy, I didn't know you were.
I'm right here looking at you, honey. If it ain't me, it's my
Alright,
shadow.
there's enough of
Do you
that.
think I...
No. Too much of that. See, now he's like straight up like player alcoholic, you know? But this is when they tell him, your books suck. We don't want your books no more. Your books suck. Thank you. That's exactly what that says. What else are we looking for in here? More booze! fuck is this? That is some Art Deco that doesn't need to be Art Deco. So scared of these closets. So scared. So many more of these books that no one wants. Look how many books we have that no one wants. Oh. A note. Samantha, please give this to your mother.
When you live in one place your whole life, your next door neighbor is kind of like your default friend. And Daniel only got weirder over the years. So moving away has been a good excuse to, like, not see him anymore. But he did always have the good Nintendo games. Maybe I'll give him a call.
She's all like, I miss my default friend. And more coupons. I mean, seriously, what the hell is with this family? What are you guys, like sweepers? It's true. She only loved him for his Nintendo. Lonnie, so you want to come over to my house? Still has an afternoon over to my house still this afternoon. That would be cool. I can drive. It's good that she can drive. I mean, no. As long as she doesn't get into her dad's liquor anyway. Yeah, totally in. See you there. I'm gonna kick your butt. Get ready. Oh no.
So you know what they say about the best laid plans of mice and men? Yeah, turns out it applies to Street Fighter too. At least I worked up the courage to walk into the 7-Eleven and ask for a turn, but all that practice at home did not exactly translate in the wild. So after I was finished getting my butt kicked, I followed them outside while they smoked. And that was when she asked me if I was that psycho house girl. But then she said she's always really wanted to see the psycho house. Her name is Lonnie.
Lonnie.
She's coming over tomorrow.
That's her name. That doesn't even sound like a good name. Who would name their kid Lonnie?
This is a severe weather warning.
Oh yeah, shut up with your severe weather. Blah, blah, blah. It's dark in here. Let me get some lights. Lights! Yeah, VHS cassettes. Yeah, like that's a thing. That's all figment of your imagination. Rock music! Oh god, what am I gonna do? Do it! Yes, the VHS player. What the fuck is that? Tape players. Skittles. Well, they got a lot of them. I mean, Jesus. Must have been like a big thing back in the time.
So these are all the VHS tapes, or most of them, in the house. And these in the TV room are from only, they only belong to Dad and Sam, because Mom has some VHS tapes, but they're up in the bedroom. And you can tell Dad's because he writes in a big, heavy, all caps style handwriting, and Sam does not. So, contrary to popular opinion, the X-Files tapes are not Dad's, they're in fact Sam's.
With stuff like JFK
Yes.
has an obvious dad interest, and some of the other stuff that we put in there was very much like, what is a dad movie?
Yeah.
You know, what is a, if when we were growing up, for instance, like, what is a movie that our dad or a neighbor's dad would have? So stuff like The Andromeda Strain or Moonraker, it's just sort of like, yeah, dads
love that shit.
Yeah, dads that were born in the 50s were super into that kind of stuff. And then some of it was, you know, stuff that we liked or remembered from when we were growing up. Like, you will know that Carlo was involved in making this game because Beetlejuice and RoboCop are on a VHS tape. That's most of what you need to know about Carlo.
That's true.
Right there.
All right. Twitch. All right. Read the story. The heroine at the edge of the world. Samantha, whatever. Part 1. All right. Awesome sauce. She likes to write about pirates. Yay, Sam. Yar, me matey. Pizza box. Man. I'm so mad. Why'd you leave me no pizza? Fucking little bitch. But a pen. Bratmobile. Highlighters. What? What's so use? No pizza? And more pizza is fresh, hot, and delicious. More VHSs. But like the VCR is gone. Like someone seriously just stole the VCR.
You know that feeling where the first moment you see someone, it's like they have a big gold star around them, and you have to get to know them? Well, there's this girl. I think she's a senior. She's usually dressed kind of punk. but sometimes I see her in this, like, army uniform. And she's always drawing in this notebook, looking so intense. I had no idea how I would ever, like, have an excuse to talk to her. Till I noticed she and her friends hang out and play Street Fighter at the 7-Eleven every day after school.
It's an empty matchbook. Why would you have an empty matchbook? What did you have before? Oh yeah, X-Files. Notice there's all these coasters, and then there's that coaster ring right there. It's great. Ah, the overwhelming force to see the interesting people are the interesting parts of people, I guess. I guess.
My name is Sarah Grayson, and I do the voice of Sam Greenbrier in Gone Home. Currently based out of Portland, Oregon, so right around where the Fulbright Company is from, which is part of, I guess, how this all came to be. I started doing voiceover work probably about 4 or 5 years ago. It's been a bit of an on and off journey because I also have had regular 9-to-5 jobs that whole time. So I always get excited when I see video game auditions come across, because it's always been something that I wanted to do, and really excites me because I'm a video game fan myself. So there was an audition that came across that at the time was entitled Dear Diary, and it had this wonderful description about being this sort of 16, 17-year-old girl. Not too much detail about her, just that she was new to her school, new to this place she was living, and her sister had moved away. So she was sort of writing out her thoughts as if she was talking to her sister. So most of the time, I'll stand up at the mic when doing auditions. But for this one, I thought, well, no one's actually going to read their diary standing up. Like, this is kind of you write your diary while lying down in your bed, or like sitting cross-legged on the floor, or whatever. So I ended up having to pull the mic down, sat on my couch, legs crossed, got nice and cozied up in like my pajamas, and started reading it.
Heavens to Betsy.
Oh my god, You are so lucky you finished high school before we moved into this house. So, it's the first day of school, and there I am, introducing myself to the class, and I say that I just moved into the house on Arbor Hill. All of a sudden, every kid in the room turns and just stares like I suddenly transformed into a mutant. I just stood there, wishing pretty hard for a rewind button. Because now maybe nobody knows my name, but they all know who I am. The Psycho House Girl. Great.
Hi, this is Corin Tucker from Heavens to Betsy. And Heavens to Betsy was a band that formed in 1991, actually. And I actually got the idea for joining a band when I moved to Olympia, Washington, and became a fan of the music scene there. And it seemed like everyone was in a band. So I decided I was going to start a band too. But I didn't actually start the band until I went home after the first year of college. I went back to Eugene, Oregon, and my high school friend Tracy Sawyer and I started playing music together, and that was the beginning of Heavens to Betsy. So I had told, with my big mouth, I had told all my friends that I was going to start a band, and the summer of, I think it was 1991, my friend Michelle Noel booked the International Pop Underground in Olympia, Washington. And she helped organize a night at the convention called Girl Night. And it was all women musicians. So she called me and said, hey, let's get you on stage with that, you want to play the show that I'm organizing. This totally new band that had never performed before. I mean, we'd never performed ever any kind of music. Got invited to play this big show at the Capitol Theater in Olympia in front of all of our musical heroes, right? Everyone from K Records, all of Fugazi was there, all of Bikini Kill was there. This music that I was a huge fan of. Suddenly, that was our very first show, the very first Heavens to Betsy show. And we were terrified, but we did it, and people loved it, and it was, it changed my life forever that night. I had seen Bikini Kill and Bratmobile play their first show at the North Shore Surf Club in Olympia. That was Valentine's Day, 1991. And I was kind of blown away by the incredible.
It's weird hanging out with girls. Daniel was around ever since I was little, and other girls, I don't know. But being around Lonnie is like instantly just right. I gave her the grand Psycho House tour and took my revenge on Super Nintendo. And it was like, I don't know, I finally found someone I feel normal around. I drove her home and she gave me this tape and said, "You have got to listen to this." I haven't stopped playing it since.
Around here, you will find some of Sam's Super Nintendo cartridges that she left behind. Obviously, for legal reasons, we couldn't put real games in, and so we conscripted a few of our friends in the industry who are really talented artists to make cool label art for fake Nintendo games that we came up with.
It's so true. The first one was Super Spitfire, and that was by Rachel Morris, who is a cool artist. What is it? The NYU?
The NYU Game Center. She's done a bunch of like posters and other art for them.
And then the next one was Adventures to Cat Returns, which is it's sort of a
it's a mascot platformer. It's a Bubsy-esque dude having cat.
Oh yeah, but it's a regular cat. It's not a bald cat.
Yeah, it's a regular cat that rides a motorcycle towards an explosion.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lee Petty is the art director at Double Fine and worked on Brutal Legend, and I think he led up Stacking. And he was nice enough to spend some of his free time making the label for Adventures to the Cat Returns.
Yeah. We ran into him at GDC, and he offered to help us out, and we were all like, cool.
We were like, oh, you didn't think we'd take you up on that offer, did you? Draw us a cat.
Yeah. He regretted the error of his ways. And then the third one is Journey of Crystal, which is sort of a JRPG beast, and that was done by Gen Z.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's the art director at Supergiant, and she did pretty all of the art in Bastion, and is working on Transistor. I know we had some people say that they could tell that it was her art because it I was one of the hosts of the Idle Thumbs video game podcast for a year or two, and I go on there, and every once in a while those guys are my friends, and I didn't want to put Idle Thumbs references all over the game, but I did want to have Idle Thumbs references in the game, so we localized them entirely to this one piece
No Brain, 1994.
Almost everything on here is an Idle Thumbs reference, and specifically to a weird exchange that we had about Will Wright's GDC talk in like 2008.
Soundgarden exclusive interview.
He didn't want everybody to show up
machine.
and crowd the place, so he gave his speaker name as Phaedrus, and then did a talk about a bunch of crazy stuff, including the idea of rocket mail, which was going to be like done by it was pitched by the U.S. Postal Service in the 50s and stuff. So, and then the thing on the podcast was about how Phaedrus had a little brother, and so anyway, whatever. The brother, of course, it's a Phaedrus, and you can't hardly see the icon in the back because it's obscured, but there's this 50s rocket icon in the back that's like the logo of Phaedrus Motors, and then also it's the reference that Will Wright was making, and that is a secondary reference here because it's a motorcycle thing, is that in Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, the book, the author is having kind of an ongoing exchange with this character of from Greek history called Phaedrus and motorcycles and blah blah blah. So it's a big knot of obnoxious references to lots of different
Offspring, about the only two tracks there. I would have dealt with mine about Baltone, but that's some more garbage. Lisa Loeb. You heard shit from her since then. More of that, Captain. Army matey. Ooh. Nice little binder. The Holy Bible.
Mom and Dad are much more actively religious. There's a Bible in the foyer, and there's a Bible in Dad's bedside table.
Well, or arguably they want to appear actively religious. But yes.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, my intent was that they aren't super religious, but they probably still go to church.
And they also they would feel bad if they put their Bibles away. They'd be like, oh, we need those to be out for us to look at, to consult in case we need them, or something.
But it's definitely, I don't know, it comes from my own experience of my parents went to church and were more religious and stuff, and as, I don't know, around when I was like 10 or 12 or something, I was just sort of like, I remember having a conscious realization, just,
One of the assets that I really liked creating in the game were these board games. So there's 3 in total of them throughout the house. Ideally there'd be more, but we had to focus on the getting the walls built and things like that. But I really like them. They're just a simple extruded cube. There's something about environment design that's really fun. There's really a goofy aspect of it where you have to create fake brand names. You have to create fake toys and fake storefronts. Maybe my favorite is in the game Costume Quest, when you're going to the shopping mall, there's a store called Why Not Flip Flops, which always makes me really happy. But this one is a parody of Dream Phone, which is an awful game that came out in the early 90s, where you sit around a table with your girlfriends and you pick up this plastic pink phone and call these sexy boys, and you see which one likes you. It doesn't really suit Sam's personality exactly. I figure maybe it was given to her by a well-intentioned relative who doesn't quite have a personality down, and maybe she played it once on a lark and then put it in the closet, and that's where it stays.
I think I'm missing something. I know I'm missing something.
We're so cool, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're so cool. We're so cool, yeah, yeah. Fuck you too, cool, come on.
Cool schmule. Oh, it goes. Alright, Chico. Well, the good news is I'm actually kind of tired, so we can do this together someday, or or we can do it this way again. Because, But I will text you good night. And I'm gonna, I'm gonna stop the broadcast. So I'll talk to you in a second in text.